So what's going on? So I was reading about in Florida, in Parkland, Florida, about some racist teacher who falsely accused a black student because the student refused to stand for the racist Pledge of Allegiance. And the young man's mother called the injustice, and rightfully so. You shouldn't have to stand for uh, the Pledge of Allegiance at all. And it is unconstitutional. I mean, it is a racist declaration, does not include black people. I felt that way all my life, and once you know the histories, it's just like um, Colin Kaepernick and Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali refusing to acknowledge the flag back in the day, and president, etc., and others who have done it as well. That's your rights, your First Amendment rights. And if a student is smart enough to understand the injustices that goes on and what constitutes that, they shouldn't be forced to do something that they don't feel like is in their heart. A young man is smarter than most and braver and bolder than most because it requires common sense to understand what the Pledge of Allegiance really means, and it's not inclusive. Um, and so it's very troubling, but it's very common at these schools because they take on the doctrine of a racist like Donald Trump, that they set the agenda to try to to counter. They want you to be selectively inclusive. It's comical to me because um, if you have grandparents or people who grew up during the Jim Crow era, how do you sit around and turn your face around when you have to deal with hate and discrimination openly and sickly, and then yet you want to turn around and have to pledge allegiance to something that does not um, represent you fully as an American born citizen? It's contradictory behavior, and it's a mental illness and a sickness. So, young man was right, and I applaud any um, young or old or middle aged African American people that are hip enough and aware enough of the racist alliances that are formulated, and how they still throw this flag and the racist anthem and everything else, which is bunk because um, it's unconstitutional, and the rights of it weren't written and composed with us in mind. Um, it doesn't represent uh, us as a people, and so why would you take a stand for something that has indoctrined brutality and negativity and racism in its fullest form? So I applaud the young man out of Parkland, Florida, for refusing to pledge allegiance to a racist flag. Feel free to leave your comments. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.